Welcome back, all my extraterrestrial mafia. This is Alien, and welcome back to new Toon Tuesday. We have today a blaster, ice blast, plant manipulation. This was a build that someone on my Twitch stream was interested to see what I could do with it, and it was a pretty good build what he had originally because the damage output that it had was awesome because the powers themselves or single target attacks had a lot of different chance for damage in them, which ends up being a really big damage boost because this doesn't have a damage diminished returns to it. The procs are just procs. I try to keep that idea. I try to keep his single target damage strong while mixing in survivability, which is what he was struggling with. Normally he just, killed enemies as fast as they can and had his team protect them from the bad guys. But he was a good player. It sounded like he really knew how to play, but he was interested to see what I could do for survivability. So first I took away all the slots and I took away most of the powers and I kind of redid it from scratch. And I ended up with this. So he didn't have a lot of AoE damage because he was making his build particular for killing lieutenants and bosses quickly, while having everyone else kill minions and stuff like that, which is a perfect way to do it. There's no problems with that. But he was interested to see what I could do. So here we're with Ice Bolt, Ice Blast, Freeze Ray, and Bitter Ice Blast, and Bitter Freeze Ray. So these are his attack chains. There's different ways of doing this, but you want to stick with Ice Bolt, Freeze Ray, and Bitter Ice Blast because their cast times are 1 second. So for 3 seconds, you could do a lot of damage in no time. Ice Blast is a filler in case you get debuffed, and Bitter Freeze Ray is just a nice hard-hitting power that you can hit like sappers with. It's an extra hold, so between Bitter Freeze Ray and Freeze Ray, that's a good hold, and you can hold bosses pretty easily, and you can help out with AVs with holds. Aim, we have chance for buildup in it. You can control when this triggers. And this will trigger about every other time you fire off the power. And then you have toxins. Super speed, we got the knockback in air, we got the knockback over here. We have resistances where we can, so we have shield wall and reactive defense. This is a 3% base, up to 10% at low life. So this is just a nice little extra buff for your resistances as you lose life. Wild Fortress, we went for as much regen as possible because it's just super awesome, and you don't really necessarily need a lot of recovery because with this you're sitting at almost 5 endurance a second. And we also grabbed Assault. One of the things that I added into this build that he did not have is AoE damage. So I put an Ice Storm 6-slotted with Superior Blaster's Wrath and Blizzard with the other ATO. And this combination of powers is deadly. Change it back to activation. So Ice Storm will do 306 damage by itself, and Blizzard will do 929 damage by itself. So if you trigger Toxins and Aim, and the Gaussians will trigger at the same time, Ice Storm does 500 and Blizzard does 1,607 damage. That's a lot of damage to a mob. So he's focusing on bosses and lieutenants, and these are the single target powers. And every now and then, when these powers are up, you can knock down just a group by yourself, just to try and speed up task forces and stuff like that. This is an upper end type of build, which all of mine are, but this is you want to blow through the mobs quickly to get the maximum amount of like merits per task force or merits per minute or whatever you want to call it. Combat jumping, again, this is Kismet 6% to hit, not accuracy, it's to hit. It's correct in game and in here. It's just the name of it's wrong. Boxing, you don't. Someone mentioned this before. You can do kick instead and get the forced feedback, transfer plus recharge in it. It's not a huge buff, but it's an extra buff if you need to. Yeah. Again, transfer damage. So transfer damage, transfer damage, transfer damage. And then you have 3 here. And then transfer build up here too. So transfer hold as well. So you have hold here, and hold here. I know I'm scatterbrained, sorry. This is my third video and I just got off of work. So I'm a little bit tired. Bonfire. Bonfire is an amazing power. This person hasn't used it yet, and I'm excited to see his excitement. Bonfire doesn't do amazing damage. It does okay damage, but it does a bunch of knockback. But the knockback triggers all the time. It's constantly triggering a knockback. So if you convert that knockback to knockdown, that constant triggering of knockdown of knockback will actually be knocked down. So when I use this in my farms, it's like the enemies are like fish out of water. They just flop, flop, flop. It's so funny and such a good defensive power without being defense. It's so nice. They can't attack because they're just flopping around on the ground. It's amazing. It's really good. Melt armor, really good power. And if you could fit it, it's very good to get. If you can't, it's not the end of the world. But it's 10% resist debuff, along with the Achilles heel in here, so you can get up to 30% resist debuff. We have a Hameo in here to help the recharge and the defense debuff in it, and then here for the accuracy and the recharge. And then burnout. Burnout's not a necessary power, but it's nice to get if you can fit it. This will instantly recharge all of your powers at the sacrificing of some endurance, which will have plenty of endurance. This will instantly recharge Ice Storm and Blizzard and Bonfire. So if you trigger this, you can Ice Storm, Blizzard after Aim and Toxins for a second group right after the first group. So it's super nice. It's a big boost of your AoE damages every now and then, so every 609 seconds. So it's a long recharge, but it's just fun. It's nice extra added damage for mobs. And then we went with Agility Core Incarnate Power because it's recharge. Recharge will buff your healing, it'll buff your defenses, it'll buff your controls, it'll buff your damage. It's recharge. It'll increase everything. And then defense, because, defense. So I try to keep what this person had while adding AoE damage, while giving him capped range defense and 60% smash and lethal resistance. This build originally had none of that. It had almost no defense and it had almost no resistance. So this is a big boost to it. He's not going to have any problems surviving. And then Wild Forest, of course, gives your regen a big boost. Which in this mids is not counting. Oh, there is no regen. This is absorb. Wow, I just saw that now. Sorry, correction. This will give a bunch of absorb. So this will give you a big boost on top of your regular hit points. For anyone that's interested in playing this type of Ice Blast build, the secondary is swappable. You can swap this out to almost anything else. So because he's just getting the buff and that, you can swap this to anything. This is just an existing character that he already had. So just run with that. And yeah, I think that's it. Alright. Thank you all for watching. I just smacked my hand on the table. If you like what you see if you like my method, if you learn something, if you're interested and don't understand something, ask in the comments. I read them. I'll reply if I have a good comment or um, and if you're interested to see me build a character of your own, there's a link in the description for a spreadsheet, the Google spreadsheet. You do not need an account. Enter your information there, and I'll build it. I build these live Monday nights. Come on by, and we can discuss what powers to grab, what slots, what your goal is, things like that. Learn some things, because this is why I'm doing it. Is to try and teach how to do builds of a particular type, because there's many different ways of doing a build. I personally go for everything as much as I can. And again, leave a like and enjoy the rest of your day.